It's a Sunday, but for this Polish delicatessen in Ealing, it's business as usual. Sundays are when London's Poles bring their food parcels here for transportation to Poland. Poland's plight has attracted worldwide sympathy. There are 900 Poles at present in this country, stranded here by martial law. But how sympathetically have they been treated?
If you miss your family, if you haven't any job, if you have many problems, some days you say, no more this life. And if you're afraid, go back to Poland. So what can you do? Only finish this life.
3 Poles have committed suicide in the last 6 months. The first was Andrzej Szczepański, who threw himself off a bridge onto the M1 motorway last August. The following month, the body of Lustian Lutala was found hanging from this tree in Gladstone Park, Cricklewood, North London.
We comply absolutely with the UN Convention on the treatment of refugees, and what they have to show is that they have a well-founded fear of persecution because of their religious or political beliefs.
Now I would like to ask the Home Office what the hell they expect these people to do. Unfortunately, the militia does not issue certificates that they are going to persecute somebody.
Out of the 500 or so Poles who've applied, only 38 have so far satisfied the Home Office that their fear of persecution is sufficiently well-founded. The rest have to be content with tourist visas that can only be renewed at the Home Office's discretion. Tadek Jański, who saw Lutala 2 days before he died, claims he wouldn't have committed suicide if Poles had been given refugee status.
I certainly think not, because then he would have a hope of bringing his family here. I know he was very, very close to his 2 boys. He spoke about them continuously. He was very worried about them. He was very concerned. He really felt homesick, and he really wanted to be with them again.
Trying to maintain family links the other side of the Iron Curtain is a daily struggle.
Halo? Jelenia Góra? Halo?
Grzegorz Jabrowski was in England visiting his grandmother when martial law was declared. He can't phone his wife direct. She has to go to his parents' house 200 kilometers away.
Can you change me £1 for 10p coins, all 10s?
Grzegoz's factory in Poland is now run by the army, and he's afraid that if he returns, he'll be treated as a deserter. His tourist visa allows him to stay here for the time being, but not to bring his family over.
Only visa, on permission to work, visa I mean for 6 or 12 months, is not enough in my case. Because this is good maybe only for me, but what about my family? How long I can be separated with them? I want to be with them, and they want to be with me too. We want to be freedom.
Jerzy Strzemiński was in Poland at the time of martial law, but last August he decided to defect. With 10 other students, he got a place in last year's tall ships race. When they got to Southampton, 3 of them, including Jerzy, jumped ship. Jerzy hitched a lift to London, where he's been living on borrowed time ever since.
After the martial law was declared in Poland, I took part in every demonstration against militia in Gdańsk, and many of my friends were arrested and put to the prison, and I was afraid that it could have happened to me also.
Having had his application for residence turned down, Jerzy's prospects aren't good. Another Pole struggle to adapt to life here ended in Hammersmith. The third Pole to commit suicide was Hubert Michnikowski. He too hanged himself. His body was found suspended from the scaffolding on this building one morning last October. Michnikowski was a former welder at the Gdańsk shipyard and had been in England for some years. When they took his body down, all they found in his pockets was the badge of the Polish trade union solidarity.
It seemed to me that the Poles had shown such courage on behalf of freedom that the least we could do was to give refugee status to those who genuinely had reason to fear for either their lives or their freedom if they returned to Poland at this time.
Isn't there some danger that if we offer this refugee status to the Poles, that we're going to open up the floodgates to other people who want to become refugees from other countries?
I don't think so. It's one of the proudest parts of Britain's tradition that we've offered sanctuary in the past for centuries to those who are genuinely at risk.
In Hammersmith, as in Warsaw, the church is the focal point of the community. It also provides a link with the old country. This Mass is being relayed live to Poland via Radio Free Europe in Munich. The church is also a link with the past. Many Polish ex-servicemen are buried here in Gunnersbury Park. It's also where the Poles can erect national memorials, now forbidden in Poland itself. One of the 4,500 Polish officers massacred at Katyn in 1940 was Christopher Stepan's grandfather. Stepan works at the Polish Refugee Rights Group and considers the recent 12-month extension of visas a mixed blessing.
I think that it is really about the worst possible thing that could have happened. I know this sounds paradoxical, but they've been living here in limbo now, not knowing what's going to happen to them for something like 1.5 years. Now, this latest move of the Home Office, welcome as it is and humane as it is, means that the period of limbo will now be extended for another year without any firm decision.
Mr. Waddington, we're only talking about 900 people. We're talking about Polish people who have great historical, particularly war connections with us.
Yes.
Surely we could make an exception in their case, couldn't we?
Well, you know, I think everybody admires the Poles, and I've had plenty of friends in the Polish community, and it is very easy to present a case for dealing with them entirely differently. And in a sense, of course, we have dealt with them entirely differently by allowing all those who were here at the time of martial law to stay. But you've got to be very careful, you know, about setting precedents. You've got to be very careful, too, about saying this is a special case, because I have really a most appallingly difficult job to do in the Home Office, and every day somebody's coming along to me and saying, here's yet another special case. And sometimes I have to say to myself, well, if every single time somebody put forward what they said was a special case, then we'd have no immigration control at all.
So, where does that leave people like Jerzy?
What can I do? What else can I do? Nothing. I can only wait.
The Home Office may not be convinced that men like Grzegorz and Jerzy would be in danger if they returned to Poland, but they themselves are in no doubt. In the meantime, they and the other 900 Poles hover in a kind of limbo, not refugees, but allowed to remain in Britain as tourists.